Good afternoon and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure and an honor for me to be invited as a speaker to the United Nations high-level event on the Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprise Day, our cherished MSME Day. This year's event theme is We Hear You, listening to those at the front lines, to our entrepreneurs, businesses, policymakers. I'm very happy to join the conversation, representing the European Commission, and to reflect on our policies and support of micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, especially in the current unusual times. The COVID-19 pandemic has been a tremendous challenge for all of us, for citizens, businesses and governments. But it has also demonstrated that we need to act together as a global community in order to come out of the crisis stronger, more resilient and sustainable. This means breaking down barriers, sharing best practices and inspiring big ideas. It also means involving all elements of our society and economy in the recovery process. And our micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, are key actors here. You all know that small businesses have been most affected by the crisis. They have often been cut off from customers, clients and suppliers, and deprived of precious liquidity. Many have not survived, and many others are only limping through, burning up valuable rainy day reserves. As we in the European Commission are piloting Europe's way out of the crisis, we have put SMEs at the heart of our approach. We want to ensure that our entrepreneurs and businesses get the financial support they need, that they are able to reconnect with suppliers or forge new partnerships and have renewed access to markets in Europe and beyond. We are also aware that we in our companies cannot simply press a reset button. We must ensure that they become more resilient to face future crises. This means adapting to the digital technologies that have proven so essential in the last months, having access to talent and skills, functioning freely as part of ecosystems and value chains, within and across borders. Getting SMEs the right support means that we will not just bounce back from the crisis, we will be able to bounce forward. But it's also clearer than ever that we need to move to a more environmental, social and economically sustainable business model. The EU is deeply committed to the 2015 Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. We are implementing these goals across EU policies, both internally, through the Green Deal, our Circular Economy Action Plan, our industrial and SME strategies, and our Gender Equality Strategy, and externally, in our trade and development actions. The EU is moving ahead on these goals. On Monday, Eurostat, our statistical office, issued a report showing that we have made progress in most areas, but we still have some more work to do in some other areas, such as climate neutrality and gender equality. We are honest about this, and this is why we have prioritized actions in these areas. The sustainability transition is not just the responsibility of public actors and policymakers. It is about actions by everyone, including citizens and businesses. Climate change and the waste of natural resources are issues that affect all of us. We must therefore take a collective approach. SMEs are a leading actor in delivering on the Sustainable Development Goals. In Europe, as in many other parts of the world, they represent 99.8% of all companies in the non-financial sector. They employ around 100 million people and account for more than half of the EU's GDP. Beyond this, SMEs play an important role in local communities across Europe, including in remote and rural areas. Quite a few of them are among the most dynamic, innovative and forward-looking businesses, already developing environmentally sustainable business practices, products and services, and many of them receive support from the EU and advice in doing so. Since SMEs are embedded in every region, in every ecosystem and in every value chain, they help spread innovation and best sustainable practices throughout the world. Combined with a capacity to provide jobs, social security and training, this helps to remove barriers to delivering the SDGs. Nevertheless, even before the crisis started, our SMEs were already facing many barriers to their full potential. And given their limited human and financial resources, they find it challenging to comply with rules and complex administrative and legal procedures, to access information, markets and finance, and to properly evaluate and mitigate environmental risks. Many small businesses struggle also more than large enterprises to get the finance they need for investments promoting sustainable practices. Therefore, aiming to unleash the power of Europe's SMEs to lead the twin transition to sustainability and digitization, the European Commission adopted a new SME strategy on 10th of March this year. It covers all types of Europe's 25 million SMEs, ranging from innovative startups to the traditional bakery, and proposes actions under 3 different pillars: capacity building, reducing regulatory burden, and improving access to finance. The crisis has actually made the strategy more relevant than ever. It will be a key tool for post-crisis recovery of the European economy, which will reflect Europe's commitments to the SDGs, and thus be green and social, and exploit the opportunities of digitalization in the best possible way. We have the flexibility to adjust key actions and adapt them to the new reality where necessary. And we really see our SMEs as potential world leaders in sustainability. And to ensure that our actions correspond to their needs, we constantly engage with SMEs, as well as national and regional local authorities. And we have received very valuable input from all the stakeholders. So this is really just a start, and we recognize that we need to move together with other global actors. This is why I'm really so pleased to see the involvement of the ICSB, of UNCTAD, the UN, and here's a permanent mission of Argentina to the UN. Let us work together to turn these awful days into a new beginning for all of us around the world. We talk about a new normal of the crisis. As we move out, hopefully, these days, I hope that the new normal will not be about face masks and social distancing, but about strong companies with environmental, social, and economic sustainability at the heart of their approach. Thank you very much for your attention.